What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're out for the good reels, so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. Britman's right over here. We're going to continue our Scream review series here today with the review for Scream 2, man, the sequel to Scream, obviously, and we're excited about it. Brett, I know you are too. Why don't you go ahead and get us rocking and rolling, my friend?
Yeah, man, we're going to college for this kind of environment for the Scream franchise. So go ahead and get out your books. But before we step into this review, to check out our other Scream reviews or Scream content, be sure, and there's going to be a playlist right above my head. And to know when the next set of Scream videos are going to be coming out, because trust me, there is going to be more for anticipation of Scream 5. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe, and of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so y'all know when those Scream videos are ready.
Right, you are, Ted, man. I'm excited to get into this one, man. Decent sequel, pretty solid sequel. So you want to go ahead and kind of start about the things we like about it, or what?
Sure. So my first positive is this movie is that this movie just turns everything up a notch, like times two, and that's usually what you do in a sequel. Is you just ramp everything up times two. So the kills got doubled up, the characters got doubled up, and even a little bit of the action, like chases and all that, got ramped up a bit. And Scream 2 to me did an excellent job with that. And of course, the big positive, Sidney Prescott, Dewey, and Gail, once again, tremendous characters. We got more character development from them as they took their next step within this franchise with their characters. And dadgummit, Nev Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox does a great job.
Yes, they do, man. It's great to see them back. You mentioned the kills. I thought that was a good point. I think the kills are way better in this movie than in the first. You got a couple of them are a little bit more memorable. Cece getting tossed off the roof being one of them,
Yes.
and the opening two kills at the theater were pretty decent too. I think those are pretty solid. Just
Yeah.
a couple things to make them stand out more. So I
Yeah,
like
and
that quite a
another
bit.
strong, opening for the Scream franchise too. It wasn't better than the original, but it's still damn strong and so much fun to bring the whole like aspect to the movie theater, like to do an opening kill, just with the couple. I thought all of that was absolutely brilliant, and I know what y'all are thinking. That's Brenda from Scary Movie. No, it's not. That is Jada Smith, actually, Will Smith's wife, right before they actually got the hitch and all that. If you get my Will Smith movie pun right there. But yeah, the opening is
Stop it.
great. And as you already pointed out, Brad, the kills definitely were a lot better in this one than the original, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got some good gore in here too. The car crash with the detectives or whatever, just freaking
Mm-hmm.
dude goes flying out the window, and yeah, it was nice. That was really good. I really like and actually there was a lot of suspense really when Randy got killed, when he got. I have some
Mm-hmm.
problems with that decision overall and whatnot, but overall, like the sequence when it plays out, every time I watch that movie, that's a pretty suspenseful scene when they're on the phone and trying to find the killer, and nobody knows where he's at, but they're watching. He's getting watched and all this stuff. I always thought that was a good sequence for the most part. A couple problems we'll talk about later, but another thing I like though is this movie. I mean, it ups the ante on the meta, ness, being self-aware and everything, talking about sequels and how sequels suck and never make a sequel. But if you are going to make a sequel, it's got to be more bloody and it's got to, up the kill count and all that stuff is really cool. Two, I really enjoyed that. They talk about Terminator 2 and Aliens and, House 2, the second story,
Mm-hmm.
in that as well. So I always thought those scenes were good. And just one other thing is I like Gil and Dewey in this thing, man. I think their storyline's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Their storylines really good, especially when we get towards like that final act, like when they're in that studio and all that. Easily one of the most suspenseful moments in the movie, and for me, my most suspenseful moment and one of my favorite acted scenes in the movie is the where Sydney and her friend was, I believe it's Hallie, get out of the car. And try not awaken Ghostface when he's knocked out. That scene is so well done, and I just really love that scene a lot.
I like that one too, man. That was a pretty solid suspense moment there. I like that one quite a bit. Yeah, no, this movie has a few of those, man. I think the sequence kind of early on, whenever Sydney fights off Ghostface, and then her boyfriend goes in there and he gets freaking sliced in the arm. All that whole scene, that's a good little sequence in the movie too. I really liked it. too.
And then the last positive I have, like just a thing off the top of my head, Timothy Olyphant gave another strong performance in acting. Anything pretty much Timothy Olyphant is in, I'm along for the ride, and I never really see him do a bad job. And this movie's no different.
Yeah, man. This was the Raylan Givens before Justified was a thing. But I like yeah, he was fine in the movie. I'll talk about him a little bit more here in a second. But I think his performance was good. Mrs. Loomis, though, I really like the idea of her being a killer in this thing. Kind of just, at that point, still even still, really, we don't see a lot of female killers, so I thought that was kind of cool. And I thought the motive made sense. Her everything that she was talking about at the end, it all made sense, and the twist was decent. It was a solid twist. I really liked that aspect of the movie. I did not see that coming. With her being, she has a decent amount of screen time, obviously, as Nancy Drew or whatever her name was in the movie. But I mean, I think
Debbie Saltz, I believe.
Yeah, Debbie Saltz. Yeah, I think she was good. Didn't see the twist coming. I liked it. I liked her as the killer.
Yeah, I liked her as the killer as well, and she had really good motive. And even Timothy Olyphant had a pretty interesting idea with movies create killers, because that it was kind of like a little bit of a touchy subject, like around the time this movie came out. So yeah, both motives I was down for.
Man, I didn't like the Mickey one, man. I thought, well, I'll talk about it here in a minute. Are you
Yeah.
done with your positives?
I am done with the positives. I'm got a couple of mixes real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
The first mix I have is just give or take. It's the dance. I think I'm gonna love you.
Oh,
like
get out of here, dude! That's amazing.
Yeah, like that's a mix for me. Like some days I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm dancing and all that. And there's other feelings I'm just like, okay, that's not needed. That's way too over the top. So that's pretty much just a give and take on that. And then just a. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main mix I have on it. Oh, and yeah, that's the only mix I have.
Okay, day. Well, talking about this stuff, on the bad side. I mean, this movie overall is solid, but the Mickey thing, I liked his character to an extent, but I mean, him being a killer just didn't really make any sense to me, man. Just the whole motive thing was just like, it was iffy at best, and the fact that him and Mrs. Loomis are working together to do all this I'm not buying it. It doesn't make any sense. And plus he barely had any screen time. So whenever he's finally revealed as the killer, it's like, yeah, but who cares? Like, what, this isn't a big deal. And it's pretty predictable too. I mean, if you're watching the movie, I think that's probably one of everybody's, suspects for sure. Maybe not their top one, but it's definitely going to be one of them. So definitely it didn't shock me or anything. Again, his character was kind of fun when he was on screen, but I just don't see him. I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I can understand that, but another thing you got to think about too is Timothy Olyphant's character, Mickey, was doing it for money too. Like Mrs. Loomis was paying his school. So dang gum, you gotta find a way to pay off those student loans. Why not just do it for a good old fashioned hire killing?
Yeah, and it just seemed weak, man. It's just weak at best. The first,
it's like it's not better than Bailey or Stu or like.
No.
Do not get me wrong, it's nowhere near close.
Like Mrs. Loomis had a strong. I think they should just left it with one killer. Mrs. Loomis would have been great, and that would have been a huge surprise at the end. And I feel like throwing Mickey in here is just like, oh, we got to do 2 killers again just to do it. And they forced it, I think. I don't know. His character was completely written in here just to be a killer, I think. And so for that, yeah, at the end of the day. But I'll tell you what else I didn't like here was the we get the second run of the Dewey fake out, dude. He gets stabbed in the back again, and everybody's thinking he's dead, but he's not.
Yeah, but that was like sold perfect. Like if they were going to kill him, that would have been a perfect way for him to go. With like the whole the whole studio thing where Gail's on one side and Dewey's on the other with that glass and all that.
Oh yeah, the sequence was great.
I thought all that was absolutely great. But yeah, I'm with you, Fo. Like they could have made Dewey a little bit stronger of a character, like to fight back and all that. But he just does the same old thing he did in the original, just took a big old knife in the back.
Yeah, I mean, you said the sequence is fantastic. I agree, but I don't know. The 2 movies with faking out with the same character is just a little bit extra for me.
And I agree.
Cotton was weird as fuck, but that's enough.
Freaking Sabretooth, man. Yeah, it's obvious they had to kind of like tackle that story a little bit because he was found innocent and all that. But yeah, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with his character. I know mainly what they were trying to do is make him the red herring of the movie,
Right.
but I feel like they could have just tackled that issue just a tad bit better.
Yeah, I think so. He was creepy, man. Like he didn't seem, I don't know.
Confident.
He seemed off. Like he's definitely a good red herring, I guess. But like I just, when you look back at it as him being innocent, it's like, why is this guy so weird?
Yeah,
I
like if
just,
he's innocent, why is he wearing? Plus, he made a lot of stupid ass decisions too.
yeah.
But here's my main negative, and I'm actually gonna let somebody from the dead rise up real quick and just explain what I think about this particular negative. Go ahead, Randy.
Fuck you!
Appreciate that, Randy. Yeah, fuck you for killing Randy in this movie. That was a dumbass decision. I know what you were going for, trying to create like the whole nobody's safe and all that, but damn, you could do it with Dewey. Like, kill him off. Like, I know people will be like, oh, please don't kill Dewey. But gosh, out of him and Randy, I enjoyed the Randy character so much more. Because again, a lot of people relate to him being the horror movie nerd and all that. So, like, dang gum, it was such a huge mistake to kill Randy.
Yeah, I think so too. He was such an important part of the two movies, and it would have been really good to keep him in throughout the franchise. I think he would have been one of the more important characters to keep. But it is what it is. I said earlier his sequence leading up to his death scene was good. It was suspenseful, but his death was weak. I thought if you are going to kill Randy, let him get a cooler kill than that. Like that was like he just gets sucked into a van and we get the boombox duo come walking around playing some sick beats. And I just think that like again, the suspense was there. It was good, but the kill was weak at the end of the day. And I disagree with the decision to kill him altogether. So I think I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's just disappointing. And I kind of want to say too is if I am doing a little defense real quick that it's just like they didn't really necessarily know what they had with him fully, even though that's kind of doesn't make sense because he was one of the highlights of the original. And plus, like I wouldn't mind him dying, but to save it for the third one and at least let him fight just because he is so knowledgeable of the horror genre. So you know how he knows how to fight back against these horror like tropes and all that for the villains.
Right. And yeah, I mean, and the way they obviously we'll talk a little bit more about it in the next episode, but when they bring him back for his little video conference in 3, it just felt completely forced. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to have him come back for the trilogy, just keep him in there. That would have made that movie a lot better, I think. But
Yeah,
either way.
exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had for negatives.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really like the detective guys being sneaking around the whole time, but that's just a very brief thing. That's it for me too.
Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and rate this bad boy. Slowly, like originally I had like this as a 4 out of 5, but like recently, like it's starting to make its way down a little bit on the list. So I'm actually just gonna give this around like I would say a 3.5. A lot. It's still a really good movie, and you can have a really good time with it. But yeah, just with some of the negatives we talked about, like it easily this movie could have improved.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'll give it a 4. I think it's still a 4 for me. For a sequel, I think it's really strong. Like it does a lot of the same things the first one does, but it definitely doesn't improve upon them. It's definitely a weaker movie, but I still give it a 4.
All right, with your 4 and my 3.5, that is just going to be a regular good old trip to the Tosche station and get some good old power converters.
Got that right, Ted?
But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Hell yeah, man. So that's it for Scream 2. We are on next to Scream 3 for the next week. So let's go ahead and send y'all home to your college campus. Well, probably would prefer Woodsboro University, but any other university. But guys, seriously, what did you all think about Scream 2? Do you think it's a really good movie within the Scream franchise? Or do you think it's the weakest movie of the Scream franchise? Let us know in that comic section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to find the good reels, I don't know what I just said, but if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Letterboxd. Those links are going to be for you to find down below.
Absolutely, and pay attention to Spotify and Apple Podcasts as we are going to try to attempt to putting more content on those podcast devices. So be sure to keep up with the updates on that, and be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe, and of course ring that bell, ding ding ding, so you all know when the next set of videos are up and ready.
Right, you are. See you guys soon. Don't answer the phone.
I'm gonna love you.
Isn't that what love is made of?